Hello, everyone, and welcome to Documented Journey. My name is Bree, and today we are going to talk about all things Create December. I don't have all of my Create December notebooks here, but I did want to share with you what I've done in the past, so that way it might be able to give you some ideas on what you would like to do for this year's Create December. This is the printout. It is actually a bookmark printout. And what I've done is I printed it and then I folded it in half and I've cut around it. So that way I have my words on one side or my prompts on one side. And then I have this illustration on the other. This particular prompt list is for self-care, or that's what we're trying to intend it to be for. The prompt list is called Internal and External Dwellings. If you didn't see our 2 lives that we did on Instagram, Heather went ahead and put them on YouTube, and I can link them below for you. It goes in depth of why we chose to do more of a self-care prompt list this year. Mainly just like holidays are stressful, so this is really nice to be able to have your own thing that you do to sit down and reflect on what's happening inside and outside, right? Internal and external. So this is the bookmark / prompt list, and it's going to sit over here with these because this is what I'm doing for this year, and I will get into that. But first, I kind of wanted to show you what I have going on here. This challenge has been going on for a while. I want to say possibly before 2016, but guys, I'm not even 100% sure. The whole reason I created this prompt list, and I created it with a friend, was to kind of pull Christmas out of it, right? Like, not everyone celebrates Christmas, and so we wanted to make it more inclusive, and that's kind of what we did. So the style at the beginning, so right here, is way more junk journal-y. This is not what I do now. This is actually a sketch that I did. You can tell my style has evolved and changed, and that's cool, right? Like, it's interesting to go back and look at something like this because even my handwriting has changed. So this was 2016. It was like a Smashbook junk journal type situation. I had tabs, and it was smaller. It was an A6 size. Then I moved into the standard size, and I did standard for a while and a lot. Like, I come back to this every now and again because I really like having these, and I really like how I did them. But I have 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023. I just pulled these out to share, not necessarily because they were the best. In a lot of them, I have my kids draw some things, and I really like having their artwork in my notebooks. I also sketch some things, and this is still a similar style, right? But how I did these, and if you haven't seen my previous videos, is I worked with them loosely. These are all photos of my family, and that's why they're covered up. But I worked with the pages loose, and so when I went through my prompt list, when I got halfway, I just stopped adding pages, and then what I did was I just started working on the back pages. And so that is really how most of these are done. Some of them have more writing, some of them have more sketching. It's just, this is a snowman that my kids colored. This is a gingerbread man that my daughter colored. So my son colored the snowman. But this is how I kind of have been working in this kind of scrapbooky junk journal style moving forward. So that's 2021. Here's 2022. This one I don't think I finished until 2023, but there's some sketching bits. The kids drew some things. A lot more writing in this one, and this one feels way more scrapbooky. And then this is 2023. Oh, this was the first year that we did bookmarks, and I actually laminated mine or taped it. I think it's tape. So that's cool to see. And then I don't know how this goes as far as photos are concerned, but this was last year's, and I did it the same way. I made sure that I had enough pages, and once I became about halfway, that's when I went ahead and stopped adding pages. So I did some sketching in here. I pulled this from a magazine and added some of these stickers. I had my kids write their favorite Christmas song on here, which they both chose Jingle Bells, and one chose Jingle Bells Rock. That's funny. There's a picture of the family. So, yeah, I really like these. I think it's fun to flip through and see what we were doing. And this year, I'm just going to be doing something a little bit different. I didn't even finish. Or maybe I wanted it to just say peace and joy. I don't know. It looks like I didn't finish the shading down here because I shaded around peace and joy. Maybe that was just how it was supposed to be. Anyway, this one is finished. And so for 2024, the prompt lists are different. They are definitely more 100% less, what am I trying to say? Less Christmas and more for you. So the first one is embrace, the second one is release. I've actually started this already, and I can show you what I have going on here. So first, I'm going to talk about supplies, and then we'll move into the first illustration that I've done and how I am actually going to be using this moving forward. So I'm just going to shove these here. I'm also going to grab this because this also happens to fall within what I'm using. Okay, so how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be focusing on my prompt. Now I have evens, so I'm going to be focusing on the evens. Heather has odds. She's going to be focusing on the odds. Now the interesting thing is a lot of these go hand in hand. So the first two are embrace and release. Do I have even? Did I just say that? I have odds. Heather has evens. I am not 100% sure what I just said. But the first two prompts are embrace and release. So I have embrace. Now embrace obviously means to grab a hold of, and release means to let go of, right? But they're yin and yang, very, they go hand in hand. So some of the times when you see my artwork, it might feel like you're seeing both, and that's perfectly fine. That's kind of how it's meant to be. I'm really trying to dive deep into my work and focus on depth, and you'll see that within the line work and everything else. This is the pouch that I'm going to be using. I like it because it has elastic band. I got it on Amazon a long time ago, but the company is Denik, D-E-N-I-K. If you can find it, great. If not, I know that Hobonichi sells them. I have a few different, I will show you once I open my cabinet. I have a few different kinds from Hobonichi. Like this is one of them. I like this one because it's adjustable, so you can make it fit an A6, or you can make it fit an A5, or like a B6 even, or a B5. So that one's cool. And then I also have this one from Hobonichi as well. I use this for my planner. I'm going to be using this one to store all my supplies. This is everything I'm using as far as pens and pencils and anything. I'm not painting. I'm not doing anything like that. So I have a pencil. If you do not know the story behind this, it's been in my family, I would say, for a long time. My dad worked for my grandfather. My grandfather was an architect. My dad worked for my grandfather. And this was the pencil he used for drafting. So now I use it for my art. I have a square eraser that my son gave me because he just said it was too small, and it fits perfectly in here, along with this Click Pentel eraser. These are my favorite erasers for fine detail. I love them. And I love that they're white. I do not like colored erasers. The next thing that I would do in my illustration is outline. I really like to outline with this extra fine Kakuno. It is the finest point that I have found yet. Japanese extra fine is perfect. And then I love the Platinum Preppies. And I have this in a, I think 03. Yeah, 03. So I would say it's still fine, but not as fine as the Kakuno. If you've ever wanted to try a fountain pen and just didn't know where to start and didn't want to spend a lot of money, this is it right here. It is amazing. I have bought my husband one of these, and he would set it aside and not use it for months, maybe even years, and he'd pick it back up and it works. It's because it has this like spring mechanism in the cap that keeps air from the nib, and ultimately it keeps it from drying out. It's amazing. I highly recommend, especially it's like under $10, or if not under 10, it's very close. So I'll be using that. And then, of course, my trusty ballpoint pen. This is a Bolograph medium nib, and I love it in the olive green barrel. I think this is actually called khaki on jet pens or anywhere that you would probably buy it. So those supplies fit. Oh, the zipper. There we go. Those supplies fit ever so well in this little container that will obviously be strapped around my notebook. Now, my notebook, I hand bound this, and this paper that I used in here is Strathmore Mixed Media. I like the student grade, so the 300 series. It's smooth and it is phenomenal for pen. I absolutely love it. Also, it's white, so when I am trying to scan something and or take a picture and rework it in Procreate, this paper is where it's at for me. I do want to share with you a few illustrations before I get started. And I can show you this stuff. This has nothing to do with Create December, but I'm proud of it, so I'm going to go ahead and share. This is the illustration that I made for my Patreon November sticker, and I absolutely love it. Now, I reworked it in Procreate. Obviously, it doesn't have the dark black in the background here, but you know, when you get to put something in Procreate and try something out, you can see that it creates like a really cool, I don't know, it creates something different. And this one is a lot more balanced, and I really enjoy it. So this is one of the stickers that will probably be coming to the shop. It's just a matter of time and when. These are some just play arounds that I've had, pulling from tarot cards to create illustrations has really opened up my mind a little bit and expanded the ideas that I have, which I really love and have enjoyed. I'm obsessed with these little mushrooms coming off the tree. I love them. I want to do more of them. This is just some more. This is actually the illustration that I pulled from for the artwork for Create December this year. This totally embodies, I think, the internal and external dwelling situation. You've got the internal fox hanging out, but then you have the blooms of the external flowers. I feel like it just works, and that's why we chose that image. These are now images that I've actually pulled from tarot cards. This was actually a postcard for my Patreon. This was for November, and then this will be the sticker for December. Super excited about that. And jellyfish was my animal of the year. My word was refresh, and jellyfish is all about regrowth and refresh. So that's why I did it. Here's some more illustrations. I plan to make this into something soon. And then we have our next one and our very first prompt, which is embrace. I did this not only pulling from the prompt list, but also pulling from these cards. So what I chose to do, and what I've been doing in a lot of these illustrations, is I think about the word embrace, I think about what it means, and I pull a few cards. And then those cards help me figure out where I want my artwork to go. So for instance, I will pull out my little notebook. Yes, it has jellyfish on it because that is my animal of the year. So with this particular illustration, I pulled the Page of Cups Let's see if they're just right on top. They might be. Five of Swords, Justice, and the Page of Cups. So that's what I pulled for these. And what I do is I look at the illustration, I figure out what kind of pulls to me or calls to me with the word embrace. So for the Page of Cups, I really focused on letting go of my fears, right? So that's more of a release, but that's okay. Like bringing in the good and releasing the bad, right? And that Page of Cups, I guess when I look it up in the guidebook, because I do have a guidebook for this, it means to let go of my fears. It's okay to dream, imagine, and play. So it's like a playful card. So when I thought of that, I thought of how to embrace and release, right? The hands are kind of like letting go of something, but also it's embracing with the moon, right? And then also the next one was the Justice card, and that's this one right here. And it's talking about balance. So having two hands really balances the artwork or the illustration. And then the last one is the Five of Swords. So it is trying to make the right choice to succeed. And I felt like when I was, doing this and working through the illustration, I didn't want to add bees. I feel like bees are kind of like a spicy bug. But they work together and they're always together. And so I thought maybe to lighten the mood, butterflies would work. And so that's why I added the butterflies in. Now, of course, I have my own interpretation of these cards and everything, and then you have your own interpretation too. But the whole idea is pulling me out of my comfort zone with these cards. The whole idea for you is to just look at it and see something. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly what I see. It can be something that works for you, and that's great. So this is how it's going to go moving forward. This is how I'm going to be tackling each of these prompts. Now, again, I am doing odd. So I did embrace, and then I have glow next. And I'm going to be talking and asking questions, kind of, I don't know. I pull cards and I just kind of see what story I can create with those cards and their meaning into an illustration with embodying the word or prompt that I'm using. So that's how I'm going to be doing this challenge. It is very much a challenge for me to push myself out of my boundaries, to create something unique and something that is, I don't know, not necessarily just like if you look at these over here, like my last one, my 2023, it's not just a sketch of ornaments. It's not just, it's more like this, right? It's not something that is something you'd actually see, or it's not a plant. Like, I'm playing with I'm just playing around with my art, right? I'm not trying to make it, I don't know what I'm really looking for. This one. I'm not trying to make it make sense necessarily. I'm trying to make you think about how you could interpret something like this. I hope that makes sense. But this is how I'm going to be moving forward with the prompts and Create December this year. It's very much a self-care practice for me. Super excited about it. But it doesn't have to be like this for you. It could be something more, let's put this over here because it goes with it. It could be something more like this junk journal. You could just take pictures. You could journal on it. There are no rules, honestly, no rules. If you are posting on Instagram, we would love for you to not only use the hashtag, but also tag us so that way we are able to see it. Hashtags are getting weird over there. So if you tag us, that will for sure let us know that it's there. We will be sharing, if you are a public account, we will be sharing your photo in our stories. When I say our, I'm meaning Heather and I. And I'm really looking forward. This starts Friday, so if you do not have your Create December prompt list, get it down below in the description box, get it printed out, and get ready. Please share with us what you're going to be using or what you're going to be focusing on for Create December. Maybe it's just hand lettering the word. That's awesome. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what supplies you're using or what you're going to try to use. I love everything about this challenge. I think it brings people together. And I think this one is going to be extra special because it is all about you, where normally this time of the year is more about like giving to someone else. And that is amazing. And don't get me wrong, but it can also get exhausting. And so we thought bringing this full circle and really focusing on ourselves, because we can only be amazing to other people if we are amazing to ourselves first. It's kind of like you putting your mask on first before you put someone else's on. That's what we're focusing on this year. So anyway, I hope that you are excited as much as I am, and I hope that you decide to participate, even if it's just with one prompt. That's still participating for us. There are no rules. So enjoy yourselves, and I can't wait to see everyone what they're doing or hear what you're doing in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, I'll see ya.